Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Ashley Patterson. I am a third grade teacher here for Lawton Public Schools. Tonight, I wanted to share a couple of simple literacy strategies to support your child's reading that you can use at home. And these strategies are things that we actually use in the classroom, so your child might already be familiar with them. The goal here is to make learning more realistic at home, give you more tools that you can use. It's not, our goal here is not to make it harder, but just things that you can use that supplement what you're already doing. And we just want to make your child's reading routine, build them into a more confident reader. And so the first strategy that I'm going to share with you today is called a KWL chart. This strategy is used for reading comprehension, and reading comprehension is just understanding what we're reading as we're reading it. So the K in the KWL chart stands for what do you know? And so with the what do you know, you are getting the child before they have even read anything. You're getting their brain fired up. You are activating their prior knowledge. What do you know? And so the W in a KWL chart stands for what do you want to know? So here you are getting your prepping your child for paying attention, like am I learning the things that I want to know? And then the L in a KWL chart stands for what did I learn today? So it's what do you know, what do you want to know, and what did you learn? And so this helps because a lot of students struggle with understanding what they're reading. And so, especially if they don't connect to it or it's something they already know, their brains are maybe gonna shut down. So you want to activate their prior knowledge, encourage their curiosity, and you want them to be able to reflect on what they're learning. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how a KWL chart would actually work. So today, and I'll bring it up on the screen in a minute, but today we're going to be reading a passage with the child about weather, tornadoes to be specific. So your first step here is you might want to ask your child, what do you already know about tornadoes? And your child might say something like they're windy or they're dangerous. So you're going to want to write those down. They are dangerous. And you really want to thank them. Thank you for sharing what you already know about tornadoes. Okay, and so now your second step before you even read anything is you're going to ask your child, what do you want to learn? What are you hoping to learn from this passage that we're about to read? And so you ask your child, and they might say, why do tornadoes happen? Or how can we be safe when a tornado happens? Great, you're going to want to write those down. How do they happen? And how do we stay safe? Great. Thank you for sharing with me what you're interested in learning today. Okay, so now that you have done your K and your W, you can't do your L until you've read the passage. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that passage up on the screen for you here. Okay, and so this reading passage is called Tornadoes, Spinning Storms. So I'm going to read it out loud. You can have them read it to you, but for today, I'm going to read it out loud. A tornado is a powerful storm that spins like a giant tube in the sky. Tornadoes form when warm, wet air meets cool, dry air. When the winds begin to twist and turn, a funnel cloud can form. If the funnel cloud reaches the ground, it becomes a tornado. Tornadoes can look different. Some are thin like a rope, while others are wide like a cone. Many tornadoes look gray or dark because they pick up dust and dirt as they move. A tornado can move very fast and can even change direction without warning. Most tornadoes happen during thunderstorms. In the United States, tornadoes are common in the central part of the country, often called Tornado Alley. States like Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas have many storms that create tornadoes. Tornadoes can be dangerous because their winds are very strong. They can break trees, damage houses, and even flip cars. That's why it's important to know what to do during a tornado warning. Scientists use tools like radar to watch storms and track where tornadoes may form. If there is a tornado warning, people should go inside right away. The safest place is a basement or a small room on the lowest floor. It's also important to stay away from windows. Learning about tornadoes can help people stay safe and make smart choices. Okay, so that was our passage. Okay. And so now that you have read the passage, now you want to have the child show what they have learned. So now you're going to say, after reading that passage, what did you learn? And they might say tornadoes form when warm and cold air mix. So form when warm air, cold air. And then you might say, did you learn anything else? They might say, I learned you should go downstairs into a basement or on a bottom story floor, bottom story room. Basement or bottom floor. Okay, and so the great thing about this KWL chart is it's super simple. I mean, it's simple enough you can do it while your child is completing homework, while they're reading a library book. It can even be done when they're watching a TV show or a video or a movie. You can see it's simple. It took me less than 10 minutes. And I mean, I think that went better than if you just sat down with a child to read a passage. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate one more strategy for you tonight, and it's called repeated reading. Repeated reading is just like it sounds, and it's reading more than once. And so this strategy focuses on fluency, which is reading smoothly and with little mistakes and with expression. And repeated reading helps because when students are struggling by reading too slowly or stopping often when they don't know words, it's making it harder for them to understand the story. So it's going to help them build confidence. It's going to improve their speed and accuracy. And it's just going to make reading feel easier. And so now you're going to read a short passage. And so this can even be a short book. It can even be just a sentence or two. We're going to start here with a pretty short passage. Let me share my screen. This is a third grade level passage, and it's called The Class Pet. And so this particular passage also comes with some questions, which that's awesome, and I encourage that. We're going to wait until after the third time that we read to even look at those questions. So the first thing is, have your child read the passage once. They're going to read it. Since it's the first time they're ever seeing it, they are going to trip up on a couple of things. They're going to look at you like, I don't know that word. You can help them here. You can help them with the words that they don't know, and just, encourage them along the way. The second time that they read, you're going to notice they're reading just a little bit more smoothly. Those words that they were unsure of before, now they've learned them. They're able to, even if it takes them a second, they're like, oh, I remember that word. That word was nibbles. Okay. And so now the third time that they read it, you're going to notice their confidence just bloom. You're going to notice their fluency has improved. Their pausing at the end of sentences has has gotten better, and they just are putting more of their tone into what they're reading. So, this can be done while the parent, you can do taking turns reading. The parent can start and then the student reads after. You can do this with echo reading, which is where you read it first and then they repeat it. And then the most important thing here is that you celebrate improvement instead of perfection. So by that third time that they're reading, you want to say, if they're worried about their mistakes, you say, no, I saw such a great difference in the second time and the third time that you read that than the first time. Great job. And so um at the end of the day, the most important thing that you can do is to simply spend time reading with your child. These strategies are meant to support your time that you're already spending reading with your child, and they're not to replace it. Um, Even just a few minutes a day reading with your child can make a huge difference in their reading confidence and their overall success in reading. I mean, their end reading scores are going to reflect that time. Again, I thank you so much for your time, and that I thank you for everything that you're doing to support your child's learning.